Hi and welcome back to my channel, friends. Today I am doing a kind of chit chat, get ready with me to get this makeup look. It's a pretty natural look for me, at least, so if you're interested in seeing that, keep watching. Okay, so today I'm not really planning on doing too much. I'm just probably gonna go on a walk with my family, maybe run some errands. I'm gonna do more of my natural everyday makeup look, and I apologize for my hair right now. I like to let it air dry, so it's not brushed yet or anything. It's kind of crazy looking, but I'm just gonna go with it. So to start, I use a spoolie and I just brush my eyebrow hairs up. They're pretty unruly, so I do the best I can. And this is just the spoolie that was on a brow pencil that ran out, but I like the spoolie, so I kept it. And I'm going to use this Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics palette, and it is very, very, very dirty, as you can see. I've had it forever, so like this whole eyeshadow is gone, but I'm going to use these two shades to fill in my brows, and I'm going to use just a small little angled brush. So I'm going into that lighter shade. It's called Cover. And first I create a line on the bottom of my brow, and I go to about my halfway point, kind of where my arch starts, creating a line across. And then I just do kind of angled upward strokes from that line. I try not to put too much powder in the fronts of my brows because I don't want them to look too blocky, and I have definitely fallen victim to that in my past. Usually I do the lighter shade on both eyebrows and then I go in with the darker shade. If you hear a buzzing sound in the back, I apologize. It's very cold in my room right now. The heat doesn't reach my room, so I have a space heater on. And I'm wearing my blanket hoodie because that's more realistic of what I wear every day. If I'm home, I'm wearing my blanket hoodie pretty much constantly. Okay, then I'm just gonna brush through my hairs like that. And then I'll take that same angled brush and I'll go into the darker shade, which is called Primal. And I'll do basically just the tail portion. And I like using this eyeshadow palette because it is more cool toned, and I've had a lot of trouble in the past with using eyebrow products that are way too warm toned and they like make my eyebrows have this weird orangish red tint, which I really don't want. So I just found that this was a good in between. My eyebrows are looking pretty bold right now, but after I do the rest of my makeup, I swear they look more natural. And I brush through them again with the spoolie to help blend in that shade of eyeshadow that I put in there, the two shades, and to brush the hairs in the direction that I want. I have my trusty old vintage mirror here that I use constantly. If you watch my lives, you know that I'm always using this just to get a better look. And then good thing about using powder is if it ever gets like too thick or I put it in the wrong spot, it's really easy to just wipe away with my finger. I don't worry too much about my eyebrows being identical because I feel like no one notices that unless like yourself, if you're really studying yourself. Okay, then I move into eyes. So I'm gonna use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I've had this for literally forever. I don't actually know if eyeshadow primer does anything, but you know, it's been so long. It's like hard to break the habit of using primer at this point. Okay, I just put that on my lids. And then I just wipe that in with my finger. Okay. And I don't always wear eyeshadow for like a natural look. Natural-ish, but I just feel like it today. It's been a while. I don't usually wear makeup during the week unless I'm like doing something. Using this ColourPop eyeshadow palette. It's one of those customizable ones, so unfortunately I don't know the names of any of the shadows, but I'm going to use this kind of off-white shade as a base. As I mentioned earlier, I'm probably going on a walk with my parents and our dogs today. I have 3 dogs. Their names are Winnie, Boo Boo, and Gus. The weather is surprisingly kind of nice today. It's usually very cold here, obviously, because I live in Minnesota. I almost said I live in winter. Kind of the same thing. But it's like 40 degrees, over 40 degrees, which is insane for Minnesota in February. So taking advantage of it. We're gonna go on a walk, probably around one of the lakes. I'm just using this light orangey shade as a transition in my crease, and I'm just using a fluffy brush. Let me see how that looks. Okay. Now I'm going to move into this eyeshadow palette. I got it for Christmas last year. It's the Ciate London Astrolights Jeweled palette. It's a really pretty little palette. Like, look how pretty all those shades are. I really like them. And I'm gonna go into this light pinky shade with that same fluffy brush that I was using earlier. It's really weird this time of the year for me because second semester started. I'm in college, but it's my last semester, so I only have 2 classes because I've already completed everything else. It's crazy because I feel like I should be busy doing homework or something, but I hardly have any since I only have the 2 classes and I get work time in them, which I'm very grateful for. Okay, so I just blended those together, and I think I want to darken the look a little bit more. So I'm going to go back into this ColourPop palette, and I'm going to use a little bit of this shade on a smaller, less fluffy brush. I'm going to have to use my mirror so I can be more exact. I'm just putting this on the outer portion of my crease. Something like that. I'll just do the other eye. Last night I had such a weird dream. It was really vivid. I remember it still super clearly. I was in this like big conference room in like a hotel resort type thing, and I was in Euphoria, and we had just wrapped up filming for season 2, and I was walking out and I was in the lobby, and there was this girl there who had set up a like clothing store in the lobby for some reason, and she was selling these really cute like hand crocheted dresses that had flowers like on the chest and like little fluttery sleeves. I really wanted them, but I don't think I had any money with me. And I remember someone came up to me and they were like, "Hey, you look familiar. What do I know you from?" And I'm just using this fluffy brush to blend everything together, by the way. But I told them like, "Oh, maybe you know me from Euphoria," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I saw you in it." And then I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then I got out my cell phone and I was texting my friend and I was like, "Just wrapped filming for season 2. I'm so sad. That was the best experience of my life. I really miss it. And now I have nothing to do until press tours who knows how long that'll be. And I was like genuinely heartbroken over it. I woke up and I was sad about it, about how I was done filming. I don't know what that means, if anyone can decipher dreams, but it really affected me. Now I'm gonna go back into this Ciate London eyeshadow palette, and I think I'm going to use this shimmery shade. I'm going to pack it on with this flat eyeshadow brush, but I'm going to wet it first. And I'm using this Wet n Wild 3-in-1 primer water in Cucumber, and there's hardly any left, so I have to unscrew the top and then dip my brush into it instead of like just spraying my brush, because I can't find this Cucumber one literally anywhere. I think they stopped making it, but it's my favorite one, so I just have to make it work. Okay, so my brush looks like that, it's packed on, and I'll just pat that onto my lid. In the pan, it looks not as pinky as it does on my lid, but I don't mind. I'm just going up to where my crease starts. For some people, this might not be a natural, everyday look, but personally for me, it is. I wear this look a lot, like to school and work and stuff. I love wearing shimmery shades on my lid. It's a very rare day that I'm wearing makeup and I don't have shimmer on my eyes somewhere. So I'm kind of giving this like bronzy pink look today. I'm just gonna dip into this one more time, the primer, and just pack it onto my lid a little bit more. If you guys have trouble putting on like sparkly shades or shimmery shades or anything, and you're using a dry brush, I highly recommend wetting with water or primer or something first, or even using your finger is better than just dry, so it has something to stick to. Okay, I'm happy with how that looks. Now I'm just going to take the same clean fluffy brush and blend it a little bit. Okay, then this is another thing I always do. I have this is an e.l.f. concealer brush. I'm like 90% sure, so it's not meant for this, but in the same eyeshadow palette that I've been using, I'm going to use this dark brown red shade and kind of use it like eyeliner. And I focus mainly on the outer half of my eye. And I really like using this specific color when I do this look, because I feel like everything's already like so warm toned. If I used a brown or a black, it just wouldn't fit as nicely. But I'm not too precise about this, because I kind of like it to be like smudgy looking. So you can see like that just adds such a difference. And I'll do it on the other eye. You couldn't see that. It's covering it. Just gonna add a little bit more. I don't worry too much about them being like, again, identical, because it's a more natural look and no one's gonna be studying my eyes that much except for maybe me. And then I go in with that same shade under my eye, only on the outer half. If you hear my dogs barking outside, I apologize. They love playing outside, so it's probably like a squirrel or something they're barking at. And some days I would wing it out, but I don't really feel like that today. Okay, then I'm going to move into mascara, which is where I spend the longest amount of time. If you know me in real life, I am so particular about my mascara. So first I'm going to curl my top lashes. I don't know if you're supposed to like pulse it like this, but I do. I'm just trying to make sure they're as curled as I want them to be. And then I'm going in with the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. And I always put a mirror underneath me so I can see the root of my lashes better, as opposed to this where I can't really see the root of my lashes at all. It's hard to talk when I do this, so apologies. And I try to get every lash from this inner corner all the way to the outer corner. Don't want to leave any lash unmascaraed. Okay. And then instead of going to the bottom lashes, I go to my left eye and do those top lashes. And then same mascara. And just brush through them from the root to the top. It's always harder to do left eye since I'm right-handed. I get a little clumpier on this side usually, or I'll get some on my nose like that. I need to do a little more in the outer corner. Okay, then instead of going back into this same mascara, I'm going to use the Essence Lash Princess Volume Mascara, the pink one. This is like $2, it's so cheap, I love it. I've used it since I was probably in like 8th grade. I don't know how many years that is. I think you're like 14 in 8th grade. So 8 years that I've been using this, almost a decade with this mascara, and it has never done me wrong. I do the bottom lashes and then I do a second coat on my top lashes. I know some people don't do bottom mascara, which I just find insane personally. I think my bottom lashes are probably my favorite feature about myself because they're pretty long. So I like to accentuate them. So hard to do the left eye. To turn my hand all these crazy angles. And then I'll do another coat on my top lashes. I try not to make them too clumpy, but honestly, it's kind of inevitable. I don't mind too much, but like, you know, I don't want serious clumpy mascara. And I do sometimes use a spoolie too. Brushed through them. And since I added that eyeshadow eyeliner before I did the mascara, it's adding this nice effect where my lashes look fuller than they actually are. And of course I had to get mascara on my eyeshadow. Okay. I'm just gonna go in. You can see like how much of a difference that made comparing these two eyes. I'm gonna do the top lashes on this eye. if you can see in the back, I have a new addition to my family. It's a purple bunny. Her name is Pinky. Spelled with an I-E, not a Y at the end. I was having a tough week, and my boyfriend surprised me with her. I was not expecting her. I love her. She's very soft. She's a great new addition. My other stuffed animals get along great with her. If you guys ever want me to do a video showing my stuffed animal selection, I would totally do that. I don't have as many as I used to when I was little, but I do have a few. I was one of those girls growing up that had like a million stuffed animals that I had to sleep with every night and line them up in my bed in like a very exact order. But I don't do that anymore, but they do all have names. Okay, now here's a little spoolie, and I'm just going to brush through some of the lashes that got a little too clumpy. It's always like these inner ones on my left eye for me, personally. I try not to get any of the little hairs from the spoolies stuck in my lashes, because if you've ever had that happen to you, you know how insanely uncomfortable it is. I'm just scratching away the mascara that was in my eyeshadow. Okay, so I have that to a spot where I'm happy with it, and now I'm gonna move into finishing my brows. I don't know why, but I always do it after I do my eyeshadow, but I'm using the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt Mascara Gel in clear. I just brush through the hairs upwards, even though they don't really stay, because nothing makes my eyebrows stay. Like, I've tried everything. And now I'll move into face makeup, and I don't wear foundation, concealer, or anything like that because I just find it doesn't get along well with my skin. But I do wear bronzer and highlighter and blush and stuff like that. So I'm just, with my hands, putting on the Wet n Wild Dewy face primer. I mainly focus on my cheeks, under eyes, and my nose, because that's where I will be applying product. And I'm gonna go in first with the Milk Makeup cream bronzer. This is a little sample that I've had forever, and there's still a lot of product left, but the little like spinny thing on the inside broke, so it doesn't twist up anymore. I just got it on like this. Kind of just do like an L on my face like that. I don't like to use my hands to rub it in. I use this Real Techniques brush. I try to pat it in instead of brushing it in, so the product mainly stays where I originally applied it. But sometimes I do brush it in, but if I do, I only do upward strokes because I don't want to push it down and like lower my cheekbones. I want to make everything look higher up than it actually is. Just like that. I don't always wear cream bronzer, especially if I'm like going to somewhere indoors and I'll be wearing my mask the whole time because I don't want it to get all in my mask. But since I'm going to be outside today, I decided to apply it. Then I'm gonna go in with the Glossier Cloud Paint in Fluff, and my dog got to this and chewed all over it. But the product inside is still good. And just with my finger, I'm gonna pat this in. I kind of forgot about this blush for a while, and I started using it again recently. I forgot how beautiful it is, and it blends in so nicely, and it really truly does stay forever. Like, I've worn it around like Disney World in like August in Florida, and it stayed the entire day. And when I swam in the ocean with it, so it's not going anywhere. Okay, then because I'm paranoid and I don't want my makeup to fade away, even though I just said that it stays, I'm still paranoid, I go over the bronzer and the blush with powder products. So over the bronzer, I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Just a classic from like Beauty YouTube 2016-ish. Even though I didn't put cream bronzer on my forehead, I just kind of go around the perimeter of my face. And a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And then going over the blush, I'm using the Milani Baked Powder Blush in Luminoso. Again, another one from like Beauty Guru YouTube. I really like blushes that have a bit of shimmer or like luminous to them. I also put that on my nose because I just like that sun-kissed, I've just been like gardening for a while look. For highlight, I'm using the Tarteist Pro Glow To Go. I'm having trouble reading today. And I'm going to use the shade Gleam, which I find works really well with my complexion. I'm using another Real Techniques brush, just a powdery one like this. I'm just putting that where like the light is naturally already hitting my face. So you can see like I already have like a line right there. I haven't put any product there. That's where I'm gonna put the highlight. So I have like a natural guide to follow. Then I put a little bit on the tip of my nose, and I'll usually go in just with my finger after to blend it in because I don't want a harsh highlight line. I want everything to look natural. And then I'm going to use the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip Cream in Chewholic. This is like my actual favorite lip product in the world. I have like 4 different shades, and I just found out that they like discontinued the Ultra Blotted Lip Creams. I am so sad about it. They're my favorite because I just put it on and then kind of blend it with my finger, and you can see it has this like very natural finish, and it kind of feels powdery. Like it doesn't turn matte and like super dry my lips. Like it's kind of an in-between. And I like to use them as blush too. They work well for that. And then over top, I'm going to put the Buxom Full On Lip Cream in Moscow Mule, another one of my tried and trues. I love combining the lip creams with the blotted lip creams. And since this is more of this like brown kind of 90s natural color, it tones down the bright pink a bit more. I find it fits in with my eyeshadow look really well. And that is my makeup look. My hair is still drying, so please excuse that, but oh, this piece of hair won't go in place, okay? This is a pretty regular makeup look for me if I'm going somewhere. The cream products are only if I'm going to be mainly outside. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, and if you follow along, I'd love to see your results. And if you have any makeup tips or anything, because I still love learning new tips, new styles and everything every day, leave them below. And thank you for watching.